First, before I start yapping, thanks for all the support. Almost at 500 subs. You guys are killing it. Thank you so much. And now, let's get back to, god damn it, The Acolyte, episode 6. Now you guys know your boy SinnerMan here has a lot of, criticisms about the show. I talk my fair bit of shit about the show here on my own platform, no matter how small it is, right? And I see every now and then a lot of positivity and enjoyment and praise on Reddit, Twitter, whatever the fuck I'm scrolling on, right, on the day. And I'm sitting here looking at the comments and I see a common theme. And the common theme is that it's different than what Star Wars normally is. Fans of the Acolyte show are enjoying it because of the newness and I guess fresh sort of story, even though a lot of some of the themes there are very familiar, right? And yeah, the people like it because of its sort of like difference from the Star Wars, the actual fans of the main content, the original content, enjoy. The Star Wars with the conflict in space, a Star War, if you will. And that's what made the fan base come together in the fucking first place. So yeah, the conflict, the interesting stories in it, the wars and the two opposing sides, both of which, we liked for different reasons, for different ways and different stuff going on in there, right? From both the prequel and for some reason I almost said fucking sequel, dear God, no. The prequel and the OG, trilogies that we enjoy. The prequels, I already made a video on that, so I'm pretty sure. Did I? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. But yeah, I have my own thoughts on the prequels, not prequels, on the sequels. It is just disappointing, like most people say it is. But anyways, this sort of murder mystery, well, it's not exactly a fucking mystery anymore, right? This sort of like story with very familiar themes, again, I feel appeals to a lot of the fans that the Star Wars Disney has cultivated somehow through the years, would like this content. So yeah, that's how I feel a lot of the fans of the show are. They're just fans of the version of Star Wars Disney has made, which, has its ups and downs, mainly downs, but they do introduce some cool shit like bleeding kyber crystals and shit like that. I thought that shit was fucking baller. But again, let's get back on track, right? Now, I'm mentioning all this to get to the point that Star Wars has its own set genre in it, its own lore and everything. It is heavily established, and there is a certain tone and style to Star Wars that helped cultivate the audience. Here in the Acolyte, it challenges some of the lore, it brings up a lot of questions to how it fits into the already established lore that's probably older than the people who are fucking writing the shit, right? So, am I saying challenging it, adding stuff, changing things isn't, is it bad? No, it's not inherently bad, but if you do it in a way that a majority of people don't fuck with, you're going to have a bad time, right? So if you create a story that no one really gives a fuck about, characters no one gives a fuck about that, die without really much development, like Yord and Jackie, who, but really had potential. Some decent dialogue. I think it was like in episode 5 before they fucking died or some shit. No, I think it was episode 4. And, challenge the lore to add something that's subpar. It won't be successful in the eyes of the fan base that was cultivated for years. And it might be, successful for the fans you cultivated, with your own version of Star Wars, which I'm pretty sure is happening here. So, with that being said, episode 6, let's get into episode 6. Challenges a bit of what we know, and that Khmer is a Sith, and he is looking for a person to complete the rule of 2 with, right? If you don't know what the rule of 2 is, the rule of 2 is, did I say tool? What the fuck is wrong with me? Is that it is a rule created to keep the Sith becoming, to keep them more powerful and keep progressively getting stronger and stronger. Because back in the day, Sith were being stagnant. They were just killing each other because, they're Sith, right? And so on, right? So, they wanted to move the rule 2 is specifically made to keep the power of the Sith going forward, which makes sense. So I guess Khmer is unaware of Darth Plagueis, or he is like Darth Plagueis's first apprentice or some shit, right? I don't know if he's like a new line of Sith that is created in the show that will inevitably just, get cut down, or will continue to stay in hiding until some shit happens in like episode 10 because they magically appeared or some shit, right? So, yeah, I don't know if this line of Sith were just created to stir the plot of the show to make it exist, I guess. So, yeah, that's a thing, I guess. So, two things are possible. Like, they can completely change to the people for Plagueis' line of Sith, adding Khmer in it in there somehow. Or again, Khmer is part of a whole different line of Sith, and he dies at the very end or something, right? And maybe be part of the Sith line that shows up in episode 7, not episode 7, episode 10 with Rey Skywalker. Who the fuck knows, right? So I'm pretty sure it's going to be the latter, where Khmer dies and this line of Sith ends and everybody is pretty much dead or, in exile, and, none of the truth, the actual truth, comes to light that Sith are around, right? But if it's the former, where they completely replace some people, completely replace maybe like Plagueis' master or some shit, right, with Khmer, people are going to have a fucking issue with it, because what the fuck? So people might actually rage quit the series or probably the franchise, because if this is 100 years before Anakin, Plagueis, I'm pretty sure, should be alive here, and at some point finds Sidious, grooms him, and yeah, after that we know the story. So with that being said, this episode is pretty much just setup, and that's really it. Like, many people pointed out for Soul not to sense like who this person is, who May is, and May's pretending to be Osha. It's a big fucking red flag, because you're hyped up to be this powerful, this connected with the Force, and you can't connect, and you can't really figure out that this is not Osha, right? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, he is pretty fucked up right now because of like all his Padawan is dead and so on, but yeah, who knows, right? Something that also jarred the shit out of me was how quick Khmer and Osha arrived at the other planet, and Soul and May are still on the planet where, all the murder happened. Like, Khmer and Osha just teleported to the other planet. Like, this doesn't this doesn't make sense to me. Like, did Soul just wait a long time to contact the council? The council? Did they take a fat ass nap and, just forgot about it for like a couple days? Did I miss something? Like, what the fuck? Episode 6 focuses on 3 groups: Soul and May, Vernestra and the Jedi, and Osha and Khmer. Soul is struggling a bit to deal with his emotions, with the loss of his Padawan and the other Jedi he cared for, because, of course, that'll fuck anybody up. All your homies died in front of you, damn near, right? And May's sneaking around, not really doing shit, I guess. I generally don't know what the fuck she was doing. She was just, I guess, at first attempting to kill Soul, but like, I guess she was trying to act like Osha and get more information from Soul, I guess. And Soul is trying to contact the council. The ship isn't working. May gets told to help, get the ship running. And, the little rat guy knows that she isn't Osha, and I don't know if he ratted her out to Soul or anything, but yeah, he was pretty much useless here. He just kind of attacked her a little bit, didn't really do anything. That's nothing, right? Eventually, Soul knocks her out, recognizing it's May. Oh my god, right? Yeah, the girl with a big ass mark on her fucking forehead, apparently getting hidden by her dreads, is enough to fool Soul for quite a bit, right? Really believable. And Soul restrains her and wants to talk with her, but doesn't stay to meet with the other Jedi who notified him that they were on the way. And, he is looking mighty sinister, trying to talk with May, who is now restrained. Oh my god. Yeah, I honestly don't give a shit about any of this. Now, with Master Vernestra, she's still worried about the image of the Jedi. She gets word of the distress signal from Soul, and, she goes out to find him. misses him because he fucking left. And, we get to see her use her whip lightsaber on a big fucking bug, which, was cool for the half second it was fucking put on the screen. And they find all the bodies where the murder happened. And, it's kind of gnarly a little bit. And that's really it. They just sort of question everything around and what's going on. Most of the interesting stuff is with Osha and Kamir. I say interesting like it's fucking baller and amazing or anything, right? But it's semi-interesting because it's kind of nice to see, but at the same time, it is Kamir talking to Osha like she's a fucking child, right? So it is confirmed that he is using cortosis alloy, which is brittle stuff, but we see him fix it, so that's fine by me, right? And May saw him naked because of course, she follows him around, not naked. He had his clothes on by then. Kamir reveals that he used to be a Jedi, but he claims to be Sith, and he knows the rule of two. So if he knows about the Sith and the rule of two, did he find like a Sith temple or like holocron? Like maybe is he like an apprentice of Plagueis who died in this series, and why Plagueis needed another apprentice and finds Palpatine? Too many questions, but to get back on track, right? Kamir is getting inside Osha's head. He makes her confront why she isn't a Jedi, and it's because she failed. Failed what exactly? Who the fuck knows? Because they didn't expand on that, right? Because, the details, right? They're not really here yet, I guess. Maybe in a like 20-minute backstory part of the next episode. Who knows? And Kamir is successful with opening her mind to a different perspective, that she's more aligned to him than towards the Jedi, because of her attachments and her feelings, her emotions, because she's fucking human, of course. At the very end of the episode, she even tries his helmet that works like a sort of like chamber that blocks out all of your senses. And, she even breathes the deep breathing that, is a very, similar theme to another character, but, so, like a similar thing, right? Because I don't think, we ever saw Kamir with the mask on, deep breathing like that. I don't think so, at least. And the episode ends. That's really it. Again, it's all fucking set up. So where it leads, it's starting to kind of take shape, but who the fuck knows at this point, because it's not that compelling, right? The only thing I liked were the little creatures on the planet Kamir was on. These little guys, they were pretty cute, right? They had a little family towards the end. It was really nice. And Soul's little outbursts and facial expressions showing his sadness and frustrations on the death of his fellow Jedi is really nice. The actor did a very good job with that. And the bits of Kamir's dialogue with Osha, when there is actually something there, because of course he is going ahead and talking through his perspective of the Jedi's way and so on and so forth, and treating her like a child because of her lack in understanding of everything, because she's literally just not she hasn't trained in like 8 years or some shit or anything. She hasn't thought about this shit too much, so who the fuck knows, right? The episode was a bit boring, I'm not gonna lie, and nothing really made me think that the show was gonna lead it to anything grand yet, but God, I guess we'll see, right? And I have a few ideas on how the show might end, like big confrontation, big reveal, some deaths, and the climax, right? And that's all it might ever be, because it might just be stuck at season 1, because, the show ain't doing too hot, right? And, I don't know about the story, because, it really doesn't add anything to Star Wars. It just muddies the whole Sith not being seen for 1,000 years thing, and making the Jedi, seem more like pieces of shit than we ever saw in the prequels. So, yeah, it just serves just to sort of make the Jedi seem dickish, right? I like it when the Jedi were the good guys, right? And, few things were odd, but that's, the caveats of a fucking space fantasy. All this talk about philosophy and honor is nice. Too bad it doesn't really fucking matter in the end. None of this honor crap, matters. Like, not taking out your lightsaber crap flies anymore in in the prequels. the OG trilogy, timeline, time era, right, whatever, right? And the sequels, like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, the Jedi just pull out their lightsabers willy nilly. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, a fucking rock will go ahead and hit the ground, and immediately lightsabers out. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, right? And the whole philosophy told by Khmer is from a Sith's perspective of the Jedi way, but we don't really get the Jedi perspective of the Sith's way, because apparently no one knows what the fuck Sith are here. You want the battle using philosophy? It's a two-way street. If Osha actually challenged Khmer's philosophy back, that could have been really engaging stuff. It could have been really fucking cool. But we didn't get that. If May was exposed earlier in the episode and we got May and Soul talking deeply about their differences and, their love for Osha and what makes them similar and, what makes them, deeper as characters, that would have been nice to see. And what makes what could have been cool is someone fucking challenge Vernestra on her heavy focus on the Jedi image, and that could have been Yoda, for example. That could have been fucking baller. That could have added a little bit more intrigue and more interesting conversations into the show. But we didn't get any of that. And yeah, it could have been way more interesting if we had actual challenge when it comes to conversations and the subjects that are being brought up. Like, there isn't no real challenge. They're just brought up, expanded on enough for the plot to continue, and that's it. We didn't get any of that. Just more setup for a piss poor plot that won't be anything crazy and will end in nothing. This could have been a big way to show the reason why the High Republic era ends, but we aren't getting any of that, I guess, right? Like, this episode is mid. It's kind of boring. It's a 5 to me. It's whatever. It just gives me more questions, bored me a bit, puzzled me a tad bit too, and genuinely wasn't too entertaining. Besides, little bits and pieces, mainly because of the little guys on the planet Osha was on, because they're cute little guys. They're my favorite part of the episode because they're cute little guys, right? Cute little creatures. What do you guys think of the episode? Do you love it, hate it, bored as fuck by it? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all again, seriously, for the support on the channel. It means a lot. We'd love to get to 500 subs, and I would gladly, greatly appreciate it. Now, guys, stay safe, healthy, emotionally and physically, spiritually, and just, also mentally, and see you guys later. Peace.